What is going on, everybody? I go by the name of Curry, and I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on SneakerPhetish. Guys, today I want to talk about Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba himself. And I want to talk not only about a couple of recent sneakers that Nike has released, one for Mamba Week, and the other one, I guess it was for Mamba Week, even though it wasn't nearly as hyped up as the other ones that dropped. But I also want to talk about people's frustrations with the limited supply of everything that did come out, and why that might have happened, and why maybe we aren't really upset for the reasons that maybe we should be upset. We got a lot to talk about today, so without further ado, let's jump straight into the shoes. Boom. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Kobe AD NXT FF. Now, I know that's a mouthful. I know you guys are very familiar with the Kobe AD model, and especially the AD NXT model. You might be familiar with the 360 model and maybe not as much of the FF or Fast Fit model, but here it is. Let's take a little deeper look at the sneaker itself. All right, guys, there's a lot going on in this sneaker, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Kobe sneakers have so many hidden messages in here with this derived version of Braille that everybody calls the Kobe code. We're gonna do the best that we can with it. First things first, the entire upper of this shoe is this really nice fitted material. It almost feels like neoprene. It's extremely stretchy, conforms to the foot very, very nicely. Now you notice down here in the lateral side, down here in the forefront, you get a little bit of Kobe code there. You also have the Kobe Bryant signature on the back side of the lateral side as well. The really dope thing about this sneaker is that the engineers and the designers wanted you to see everything that went into it, all the components of it. So with that, they have this completely see-through swoosh on the lateral side of the shoe as well, where you can start to see the quad fit technology inside of the sneaker. As you guys may or may not know, quad fit is not new. It was on the Nike Adapt sneaker. It's this really innovative technology that Nike uses to conform to your foot so that your foot moves and the shoe moves along with the foot. It's really dope. Now, moving up from there, you also have this really nice padding that goes right around the back of the sneaker as well. A lot of padding for the heel and the Achilles. Taking a top-down look at the sneaker here, you'll notice, of course, no laces. You have the Flywire system that is all hinged together with this fast fit system here. You basically pull it just like how we did with the Jordan 33s. You pull it that way, and then if you want to loosen up the grip, you have this eject button on the medial side of the sneaker. You pull that and it loosens up the grip. Of course, you have the swoosh branding down here where the Dubray would go, and then you have the reinforced toe box on the bottom of the shoe as well. Now let's take a look at the medial side of the shoe here. You'll notice, first of all, that this sneaker also features Nike React technology. Really nice technology. I love Nike React. I have multiple sneakers with React in it. Really, really comfortable. The medial side of the right shoe is also where you'll see the big Kobe emblem inside of this stitched circle here. You also have these little play buttons that look like fast forward or rewind buttons here, kind of like from a VCR. It's a dope touch. I like it. If I'm not mistaken here, the little play buttons here are actually for fast forward. Like if you hit fast forward on a VCR, this same thing applies to the FF, the fast forward or the fast fit technology. This shoe is all about speed, moving faster and faster and faster around the basketball court. You also have the word myth that's on both of the sneakers here right inside of that strap. Inside of the strap, you also see the Kobe Bryant, LF, NXT logo branding there. You also have the different technologies that are incorporated with the sneaker as well. Of course, on the tongue of the shoe, you get this really, really nice, very pliable, flexible tongue here with the stitched Kobe Mamba logo. Now, one thing I don't think a lot of people really talked about what was on the back of the tongue of this shoe. I've never seen this on an AD NXT before, and I think it might have been unique to this particular model. No past is showing which direction the world is growing. Are we changing? Are we slowing? Is it right or is it forgoing? This is really, really dope here. This messaging almost sounds like a passage from a Weisenard book. It sounds almost like fantasy, almost like a poet wrote it. And it even continues on the left shoe as well. On the heel of the shoe, you see you have this plastic cutout here with this Kobe code on the back of the sneaker as well. I want to crack this Kobe code, and I'm gonna crack this Kobe code one of these days. If you guys have already cracked the Kobe code on here, let me know. You actually can't remove the insole on this sneaker here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but basically it's a red insole that matches the red on the fast fit system here, the pulley system, and it looks like it has some of the React material as well, letting you know that it has that drop-in React in the midsole. And last but not least, on the outsole of the sneaker here, you have these really interesting ridges. I'm gonna turn it this way so you guys can see it. This shoe really is designed for indoor play. It's been said before that with these ridges, it's gonna provide incredible grip on an indoor court, but if you try to play outside in these, the shoe probably is gonna wear down pretty quickly. And for $200 a pair, I would suggest that you wear these indoors. And that's pretty much it when it comes to the Kobe AD NXT FF. Now, this is not the only sneaker that I wanted to show you guys today, but I wanted to show you guys this one because a lot of people didn't buy them. But I want to talk about why people probably didn't buy these and why a lot of people are upset that people didn't buy these as well after we take a look at the next sneaker we're looking at today. So without further ado, let's get into that one too. Boom. Now this is a very large Kobe Protro girls eyeball. This is another one of those really big shoes here, but I'm starting to learn that if you go for the bigger sizes that not everybody goes for, maybe I'll be able to have a sneaker to actually talk to you guys about. So bear with me because this is a size 17 in this sneaker. All right guys, taking a look at the lateral side of the sneaker here. Now, as you notice, the predominant color here is green and white. Now this to me looks like a snake. Not only that, but also you see the scaling detail in the quarter panel starting there on the lateral side of the shoe. Taking a top down look at the shoe here, you really see that green scaling a lot more pronounced as well in the toe box of the shoe. You have the green mesh netting on the tongue here with that copper colored Kobe logo on this shoe. And on the other shoe here, on the left shoe, you have the copper eyeball logo. Now, of course, that's the Nike sponsored basketball league, the Elite Youth Basketball League. I really like the yellow touch on the inside, on the sock liner and the inside of the sneaker as well. That's really fly. Moving around to the heel of the shoe here, you have this plastic heel tab here. Underneath that, you have the copper Kobe Bryant signature. Right above that, you have a little tap of pink, just a little bit of pink on the heel here. To me, this looks like the tongue of a snake. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like the pink tongue against this green snake. Now, I keep bringing up the snake details because, as you may or may not know, this sneaker was actually designed after Medusa. Now, if you're not familiar with Medusa, Medusa is an ancient mythological creature who had hair made of snakes. The thing about Medusa was if you look directly into her eyes, you would freeze, you would turn to stone. So this sneaker is basically modeled after that, saying that anybody who's wearing this sneaker, if they look into the eyes of the person wearing this sneaker like a defender, they can freeze their defender and move around them. On the outsole of the sneaker here, of course, you get the regular Kobe 5 Protro outsole here with that really dope copper Kobe Mamba logo in the heel of the foot. And last but not least, you have the classic Kobe Protro insoles here with the 2-4 on the heel. And when you take a look back, when you take a step back here, you see Kobe's entire face on the left and right insole. And that's pretty much it for the girls eyeball Kobe 5 Protro. Now, it's a great looking sneaker, but this definitely was more hyped up than this sneaker was, even though they both dropped during Mamba week. I've been seeing a lot of people really upset that they were not able to get their hands on one of the more hyped up Kobe sneakers, one of the more hyped up Protros like the Undefeated Pack, the Big Stage, the 5-time champ. There were some really nice colorways in Kobe Protros that dropped during Mamba week. Now, as you guys already know, Nike launched an entire campaign for Mamba week. They did videos, they did sneakers, what you got segments dedicated primarily to Kobe's. They had athletes talking about how much they love Kobe. It was a big deal, of course. So obviously when Mamba week came, everybody was really excited for these sneakers to come out because we've been seeing images, especially of the Big Stage, for a few months now. Unfortunately, a lot of people's excitement turned to disappointment and anger when L after L after L got taken on the sneakers that day after day after day of Mamba week. It got to the point where people like myself weren't even able to get the Kobe jersey that came out. I mean, a real deal jersey. Couldn't even get your hands on that. Now, no doubt the Sneakers app has been a crazy place lately to get sneakers. Exclusive access seems like it's going out almost every day to accounts that are not yours. And then when you have these big releases that are coming up for a lot of true fans of Kobe, they were hoping to get a little bit of something that would remind them of their idol. And unfortunately for many, it didn't happen. A lot of resellers and bots seemed like they ate up pairs of this sneaker here and made people pay double, triple, or quadruple retail or more just to get their hands on a Kobe shoe. Now, what's interesting to me is at the same time these sneakers were selling out, these sneakers said, they're both Kobe sneakers, yes, but obviously this one is a lot more wearable, a lot more good looking, a lot sexier and sleeker than this sneaker that honestly is made primarily and specifically for hoopers. So if you're not a basketball player, chances are this sneaker really wasn't gonna resonate with you no matter how technologically advanced it was. And this is one technologically advanced sneaker. It's possibly one of the best sneakers that's on the market right now if you're playing ball. But a lot of the Kobe fans aren't necessarily hoopers. They wanted the classic colors and the classic silhouettes that are very easy to wear that aren't specifically designed for the hoopers. But what I saw a lot of on social media were people telling other people, hey, why don't you buy this Kobe sneaker because at least it's still a Kobe sneaker, so you shouldn't be complaining if you weren't able to get your hands on the really big hyped up stuff. Let me just keep it a buck. Let me keep it 100, 200, a bean, whatever you want to call it. Let me keep it that with you. I didn't really hear a lot of the people complaining because what I saw was a mixed bag of resellers who were mad that they just couldn't get a big payday and true fans that really did want to get their hands on a lot of these Protros so that they could honor Kobe and wear them every day. But the reason why these sneakers sold out the way that they did, again, is because of that mixed bag. We're in a space now where, like I mentioned previously, we're in the middle of a resale boom and bots are at an all-time high. Now there's sneakers bots and there's raffle bots. So a lot of people took the L to raffles, but that's because there's bots even set up for raffles at this point that are taking up all the sneakers. So even when stores and boutiques are trying their best to figure out a fair way for everybody to get their hands on sneakers, it's still really difficult. And listen, I get it. I feel you. I'm taking L's right along with you on the sneakers app. I feel it. I mean, look at how big of a sneaker I had to get just to be able to have one to show you guys today. But at the same time, who's to blame for this? Now, a lot of people are saying that Nike is to blame for this because Nike should have known how many fans Kobe has, and they should have made 1 million pairs of every one of these Kobe Protros, and they should have made sure that everybody had access to it, and they should have shut down production of every other thing that they were making, apparently, and just made Kobe after Kobe after Kobe for everybody. And guys, listen, it doesn't work like that. I want to tell you guys 2 things today that I don't mean to be a party pooper, I don't mean to be Debbie Downer, but I'm just here to keep it real with you guys. That's why you guys rock with me. The first thing that I want to tell you guys is that Nike only has but so much capacity to produce these sneakers. They have a lot of other product and a lot of other sneakers that they have to make, and they have timetables and lead times and materials that go into making these things, all of which are finite. There's not an endless supply of fly wire and leather and rubber to make on this specific sneaker. There isn't a huge supply of the materials that went into those special edition jerseys. That's a special material. And like I mentioned, Nike is on a timetable of their releases. They have to push out more product. And even though I know the world stopped for all of you guys when Kobe passed away, the world didn't stop for Nike and for Nike's timetable of their rollout for the rest of their products and the rest of their sneakers and the rest of their apparel and everything else they're coming out with. So while I do agree with you that Nike could have probably produced more of these, I get it. And I don't think that Nike really was worried about hype on this sneaker or trying to build up hype because it's Kobe. Obviously, the response from Kobe's death tells you everything that you need to know about how much hype there is over Kobe's products. What we tend to forget is that there's a lot of people at Nike that have StockX loaded onto their phone. And even if they're not doing business on it, they're still tracking what their products are selling at and how they're performing. They know that Kobe's are worth a lot of money. But at the same time, I think what they're also hoping for is infusing Kobe's name and his legacy with this really incredible sneaker that they've been coming out with some really interesting iterations of. Personally, I love that Serena Williams high top blazer queen colorway of the 80 that they came out with a little while ago. You guys probably didn't pick those up, and I understand why, but I thought it was really fly. Not only that, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you guys again. A lot of you guys weren't even into Protros like that because we did a video about the NBA 2K20 gamer exclusive Kobe 5 Protro. Remember the white one with the purple in the middle? That shoe sat. I remember I waited to see how well that sneaker was gonna sell. I was slacking on the gamer challenge, and by the time I completed it, that sneaker was still sitting on the sneakers app. But the funny thing about it was, as soon as Kobe passed away, that sneaker was sold out immediately and was selling for triple or quadruple retail price on the secondary markets, which to me is insane. But again, mixed bag, right? I think a lot of Kobe fans were able to get their hands on that sneaker if you completed the challenge or if you got the other Protros that came out, but there were also people that were just trying to make $1 at the same time. And guys, I'm sorry to tell you, but resellers don't take holidays. They don't take a day off. And for a lot of people out here, they really don't have much of a heart when it comes to trying to preserve the legacy of somebody, even a Kobe Bryant. Now, the other point that I wanted to make to you guys is that Nike is still a company that is all about their profits. And unfortunately, while Nike did do a great job, I think, for Mamba Week of putting all of the videos out there and all the athletes out there, unfortunately, they still have a lot more money to make and a lot more technology that they are trying to push out to the athletes at the brand as well. This sneaker here was designed for all the athletes. Again, you guys got to remember, Nike is the goddess of victory. Nike is a sportswear company. They're not a casual hype company. Now, there is an arm to that, and that's called market demand. That's designed to build up hype. But at the same time, Nike is still trying to invest in what is moving forward in their company, not staying stuck on older models and older colorways of different sneakers. That's why you see Jordan Brand trying to take such a different direction. Now, here's the thing about it, and I want to make that correlation between Kobe and Jordan Brand. A lot of people were upset and they said, well, you should have just bought up the AD NXT because it's a Kobe sneaker. If you're a true fan of Kobe, you would have bought anything with his name on it. false. I don't agree with that, and I don't think that you guys should be telling people things like that. Because if that's the case, that's like saying you should go buy up the Jordan Apex or the Jordan Delta or the Jordan 33, which is a terrible, terrible sneaker, just because you're an Air Jordan fan or a Michael Jordan fan. It's not the case. People like what they like, and again, like I mentioned, the more wearable a shoe is, the more hype it's gonna have on it. So you can't knock Kobe fans for not buying the 80 NXT just because it has Kobe's name on it. I mean, come on. A lot of y'all are Jordan fans, and I don't see y'all buying up them ugly Jordan sneakers that are coming out all the time. Buy a pair of 45 Flight Jordans and then we'll talk. Listen, guys, you like what you like. You're a fan of what you're a fan of, and I know a lot of you guys that are fans of Kobe are true, real deal, loyal fans of Kobe, and you're really upset that you missed out on pretty much all of these sneakers. I know the majority of people missed out on every one of these sneakers that dropped for Mamba Week, and I'm sorry, I feel for you. It really does suck. But do I think that Nike necessarily ruined Mamba Day? I don't know, a little bit. I think they're like 30% responsible, that they could have done more. I do think that Nike could have produced a lot more product. I do think that Nike could have done a better job of at least releasing more jerseys or releasing as many sneakers as they possibly could that they had the capacity to. Now, do I know what Nike has the capacity to do? Absolutely not. I have no clue. So maybe this was the best that they could do with the time frame that they were given. Maybe they could have done more. I don't know. But what I do know is that in the time being, there is some incredible technology that's coming out in the future for Nike that's attached to the Kobe Bryant legacy. And at the same time, there's gonna be sneakers that continue to come out that are gonna be really hard for us to get our hands on. And that's just the way of the world right now. If we don't want to pay the price, remember guys, it's a buyer's market when it comes to sneakers. People can ask whatever amount of money they want to ask for a sneaker, but it's up to you to pay whatever you think this sneaker is worth. Now, I'm not going to test your loyalty and say if you were a real fan, you should have paid $1,000 for a sneaker. That's ridiculous. That's price gouging, and I'm not that kind of guy. Even as somebody that sells sneakers, I'm still not really a big fan of straight price gouging. But at the end of the day, we have to remove the personal feelings that we have with this being specifically about Kobe, and we have to equate this to the larger sneaker market as a whole. Because as far as Nike is concerned, yes, this is a tribute to Kobe Bryant, but this is also indicative of the sneaker market as a whole, and this is just where we are right now. Product is limited right now, guys. You also got to remember, Nike took a huge loss last quarter, and if you guys check out their quarterly earnings report, it was ridiculous. They lost a lot of money. The main reason why they lost a lot of money is because they oversaturated the market with a lot of products, and they decided to start pulling back on a lot of things, making a lot more releases, a lot more limited, and try to drive the hype up a little bit more to reinvigorate that bottom line. This was a fantastic way to do that. Now, again, in true form, they came out with a consolation prize if you weren't able to get your hand on the most coveted product. They came out with the 80 NXTs. Now, right now, that sneaker, I believe, is still sitting on the Nike website. You will probably be able to get these sneakers under retail right now, and they will probably end up at an outlet somewhere. But to me, that's a beautiful thing, because there's a lot of people that can't get their hands on this that actually might hoop, and it would be dope to have a Kobe sneaker that's easily accessible, similar to the Mamba Fury. The Mamba Fury reminds me a little bit more of the Protro. It's a low profile sneaker, a little cleaner looking, but still has some really dope technology designed for basketball play as well. So take your pick. You can get the Furies, you can get these, or you can pay the high for these. It's up to you. We continue to honor Kobe's legacy, and we continue to honor the legacy of Gianna Bryant as well, especially in the girls and the women's Protro eyeball sneaker as well. Listen, guys, this is a tough one here. It's been a tough week. A lot of people are still reeling from Kobe, and a lot of you guys are angry on top of still grieving Kobe's death. And listen, I wasn't the biggest Kobe fan in the world. I'm not gonna lie about that, but I do understand that seeing a lot of how you guys have reacted to this runs deep for a lot of you guys, and the frustration is real, the anger is real, but don't necessarily take that out on Nike, right? I think a lot of you guys are mad at the wrong thing. This is a personal thing for you. This is a personal emotional connection that you guys may have to Kobe, but Nike doesn't have anything to do with that. Nike is doing their job as a company and a for-profit corporation. They're pushing out product, they're driving up demand on their product, and they're selling out of it to make money. That's what it's about at the end of the day, guys. You're a corporation, and they're gonna put a humanizing story around that, and they're gonna honor Kobe's legacy however they can, but they still got to make their coins at the end of the day. It is what it is. And that honestly are my final words for this video. It is what it is. Sneaker resale is what it is. These shoes, they are what they are. It is what it is right now, guys. So we got to get right, or we got to get left when it comes to these things. We got to bulk up how we're copping on sneakers, make yourself another account, whatever you got to do do that, because at this point, it's dog eat dog out here. You can't go and try to get these sneakers and cross your fingers like you used to. There's too many people that are gonna fight you tooth and nail to get their hands on the same shoe, even if they don't have the same inspiration and motivation for getting it. Look guys, that's pretty much all that I got. I'm sorry for you guys if you actually ended up taking one of the L's. I really am sorry if you didn't cop anything during Mamba week. I really apologize for that. Again, I will say the 80 NXT, it's a fantastic sneaker here. I'm starting to sound a little bit like a commercial for this shoe. Again, if you're not a hooper, don't worry about it. This isn't really gonna be your thing for real. Hopefully you guys are able to get your hands on one of the Protros that you liked. I am starting to see them coming down in price. So hopefully you guys can negotiate on GOAT and StockX and put some lower offers there and come to a better pricing so that you guys can get your hands on some of the shoes that you like, all right? All right, guys, enough of me talking. Now it's time for you guys to sound off down in the comments and let me know what you guys think about the girls' eyeball Kobe 5 Protro, Mamba Week, all the different Protros that came out, especially that undefeated pack. I gotta get my hands on those. Or the Kobe AD NXT FF. What are your thoughts about all of these sneakers that we're talking about today? Are you a fan of this new technology, or do you like kind of the simplistic silhouette of the Kobe 5 Protro? Sound off down below, let me know. Oh, of course, right down in the comments, make sure that you click on that subscribe button so we can welcome you into the Sneaker Fetish family to make sure you don't miss out on any more heat that comes through like these, because I guarantee you I got a lot more heat on the way. As always, I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on Sneaker Fetish, taking a look at these with me, unboxing them with me for a couple of minutes. I go by the name of Kari. This is the Kobe AD NXT FF, and this is the Nike and Kobe 5 Protro Girls Eyeball. And until next time, I'm out.